Live from the Student Union on campus, this is Gold Mine Live. Your weekly all-access pass inside Charlotte Athletics is brought to you by Ortho Carolina, proud to present the 2017 Charlotte 49ers football season. Bojangles, it's bow time. Your Carolina Ford dealers. Go to yourfordchoice.com and enter the Adventure Ready giveaway to win a 2017 Escape or Fusion from your Carolina Ford dealers. Harris Teeter, where 49ers fans shop for groceries. University Eye Associates. And by Wells Fargo. Charlotte 49er fans, show your pride with a customized Wells Fargo debit card. Stop by your nearest Wells Fargo or visit Wells Fargo Card Design Studio online to learn more. Now, here's your host, Bobby Rosinski.
And welcome to Goldmine Live here at Norm's in the Student Union. Bobby Rosinski filling in for Matt Swearad. Matt on the road with Charlotte 49er basketball as they take on Oklahoma State tonight. You can hear that game coverage starting at 7:30 here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network alongside Mr. Brightside, Kevin Donnelly, and the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers, Mr. Brad Lambert. And Coach, basketball season underway. How's that relationship work with you and Coach Price? Recruits going back and forth between football and basketball and using each other's advantages here to try to get players.
Yeah, no question. We'll bring guys in on official visits. We like it. We like to bring them when we have a home basketball game. Good atmosphere. Gives them another side to see our fan base. So we try to do that. I know they have a lot of guys at our games. So it's a good relationship. Coach Price is the best, and wish them all the best tonight. It's a tough chore on the road to Gallagher-Iba Arena. Been in there, and that's a pretty good place to play.
You ever challenge them to a shooting contest?
Never. I did that.
I could take them down.
No, I used to do that when I was at Marshall. We played basketball every morning at 6 a.m. when Billy Donovan was the coach there, and really you got in trouble if you shot. Billy didn't like you to shoot. He was the only one that could shoot. So those guys that can play, you don't want to get in a game with them.
I played a little lunchtime hoops with him this offseason, and Mark Price still has it.
Yeah, you play basketball all the time, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to just keep in shape. I run up and down the court, bang some boards, things like that, but he can still pop that J, and he can dish it out, too. I mean, he can.
Who's the best baller on the football side of things?
Damian.
I know it's not Sean Fox.
It's 100% Damian Gary. Wide receiver coach.
Yeah,
he was a stud in college. Could, I think, gone D1 in basketball, but chose football at Georgia. But he is he's the stud. Of the big men, I'd have to say it's me.
You've lost a lot of weight since the playing.
I know,
so
but
that's got to help you.
250.
Can you foul out of that league?
You cannot foul out. That's the unfortunate thing is because we go 2s and 3s, so 2 point for a 3-point shot and 1 underneath just for layups. And so what happens is that ball gets to me. It just becomes a hack fest.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I'd be one, I'd play at the Y, but I'd be one where I'll let you shoot, you let me shoot. We just play no defense, and we go that way. I think that's my favorite play to go about it. So, again, 49er basketball tonight against Oklahoma State. Coverage starting at 7:30 here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network. Talk some football now. Here the 49ers will be on the road. Final road game of the season. They take on Southern Miss on Saturday afternoon. That game will kick off at 3 o'clock. The two schools have split the first two meetings with the road team winning each game. We'll get more into that matchup as this show goes on. But looking back to last week, Coach, and the defeat here at home to Middle Tennessee, 35-21. The defense got off to the great start. 2 3-and-outs early on in that football game. The second half, we saw the defense play well again. What was your overall takeaway, though, going up against Brent Stockstill, who I think has to be one of the better quarterbacks in Conference USA?
Yeah, I felt like after watching the video, we could have held him a little bit to less points. Once you go back and watch the video, we didn't tackle real well in the middle part of that game. And part of it, too, was Brent. I have so much respect for him as a quarterback. And, I think he's the best quarterback in our league. And a couple of the throws he made, they were right on point. I expected him to play well coming in, so I knew we weren't going to shut him out or anything because he's too good a player. But the thing that disappointed me about the game was I didn't like the rushing total at the end. I thought we could have played a little bit better, from a rushing defense standpoint. You never want to have a 200-yard rusher give up 200 yards rushing. That's not good for you defensively. And I thought that part of the game we could have played a little better. We had too many missed tackles in the game. Our guys were playing extremely hard, and we really, at the end, we should have shut them out in the second half. I went for it on 4th and 11 down there. got a little greedy at that point in the game, wanted to get it. We were on the plus side, and I wanted to try to get some points there. And we throw the interception. They get it on the plus side and score their last 7 there. So, going back, probably like to just punted them down right there. But I wasn't sure. You're never sure how many more times you're going to get the ball and how many times you can get it on the plus side. So Hassan played one of his better games, totals-wise, percentage-wise. I think he hit right at 60%. So he was playing pretty good. We couldn't get our running game going on the flip side of that. We couldn't get our rushing game going as well as I'd liked. But they're a high-risk defense. That's kind of what we said going in. They create a lot of lost yardage plays, but they give up some big plays. And Mark hit the big play on the screen on them. So I think that was the thing defensively for me was I just wish we would have played a little bit better against the run game.
Well, I thought in the game Saturday, obviously Bobby said, the defense started out great with the 3 and out, but the offense really came out firing on all cylinders, just going right down the field, scoring the touchdown. And it looked like that second possession, things were going pretty well, but then you had the block below the waist that really kind of killed that drive, and you couldn't quite get it in sync for a while after that.
Yeah, no question. And, when you go back and watch the video, that's a real dicey call, in my opinion. The guy's head's in front, and, he wasn't coming back toward the ball. And I thought during the game, I didn't see it. I thought he must have been coming back toward the ball, and that wasn't the case when you watch the video. So, I got to send that play into Gerald and just kind of get their interpretation of why we would have flagged that, what our thought process was, because there were a couple of plays in the game that I thought flags shouldn't have been thrown. There was a couple that, were not thrown that I thought should have been. So you always do that on Mondays. You come back in and watch the video on Sunday. But that was a big play for us, because it puts you behind the chains, and then all of a sudden you're just so far behind the chains it's hard to overcome it.
Well, speaking of the offensive side, like you said, Hassan played fairly well in the game. And I think with the running game, what we saw was there was times where it looked phenomenal, where you had these huge chunk plays, but then there'd be a stretch where you just couldn't get anything going. Is there things on that offensive line that needed improving, or it's just that risk-taking defense you were talking about? It's going to have those type of plays.
That's the main thing. They blitzed. I think they blitzed 80% of the time. So, that's a high number for a defense to that percentage of blitz and sending people, and not necessarily the same blitz every time. But we knew that going in. That's who they are, really, and that's why they create a lot of lost yardage plays. But the flip side, that's why you give up big plays too. So that kind of been their issue. And we just didn't hit enough of those. We didn't hit enough big plays. We hit some, but not enough, to win it on the scoreboard.
And you look at Hassan, how much do you think the ankle there, as we know the running game wasn't an impact for Hassan in this game. How much did that injury you think hamper him on Saturday?
I think more than he would ever let on. He's a tough guy, and, he gutted it out all week in practice. He's a hard guy to get out of the lineup. He always wants to be in there, and whether he's hurt or not. But he's the best option for us, and so I'm sure it affected him some. It looked to me like it was a little bit, but he still played pretty well, and we got to continue getting treatment this week, and look at the number of reps he's getting in practice all week, make sure he's healthy on Saturday.
Yeah, because throwing the ball, and you're kind of alluding to this, the throw he hit to Quattlebaum there to kind of kickstart the drive in the third quarter. I think it was on a third down pass play there in the pass to Mark right after that for the big screen. I don't know, throwing the ball might have been one of the best we've seen us on this season.
Yeah, no question. I thought he hit a couple of those dig routes over the middle of Mark in critical situations. Then we caught him in a little tempo with the screen outside. Mark did a nice job. Really blocked well on the perimeter. Our guys did a nice job blocking it on the perimeter and hit the big play on him. That was a huge play in the game. But you're exactly right. That third down play was huge for us, there in the third quarter to get us going.
We look at Benny LeMay and Aaron McAllister, a guy who had that breakout game against Western Kentucky. Kevin kind of alluding to a couple nice runs he had in this game in that second quarter. But have you seen the growth of both these running backs? For Benny, kind of first time being the guy, and for Aaron coming over from defense, getting the opportunity to be that second running back.
Well, they're both doing well. Aaron's really come the farthest just because he hadn't played the position. And he's really given us good depth there. Been really proud of him. We end up giving Benny a few more reps. He's getting the bulk of those reps right now. You and I talked about it last Friday. We'd like to balance that out a little bit more. it's just kind of the way the drives go. You kind of flip them drive to drive. And then AMAC had a couple big runs, and, I felt like we probably need to get him out, let him catch his breath and put Benny in there. But those guys both have been progressing well, and I really like where they are.
Well, I think a nice bounce-back game for R.J. Tyler, getting a couple receptions in this game. He had a tough moment there up at ODU, but really same play almost. Dialed it in, had a lot of trust in him, and he made a big first down for you.
He did. Had a couple big catches for us. He and Chris Phillips keep progressing. Chris has really come on. He's been with us now for, about 3 months, been in our program, so he had a nice catch in the game. But you're exactly right. R.J. bounced back, which we knew he would. He's that kind of person. I mean, he's as fine a student athlete as you want on his campus, and there's nobody working harder than he's working. So we just talked to him a long time. He just took his eye off the ball up there at ODU, and you got to look at all the way in. When you catch a football, you use your eyes and your hands, and a lot of times you'll forget the eyes piece and get to looking downfield. We've seen it many times in our games. Guys, they get a little ahead of themselves and take their eye off the ball. So he did a nice job all week in practice, and I was happy for him. He bounced back, played pretty good.
Yeah, Chris Phillips, got some reps up at ODU, and then got the ball thrown his way a couple times this last game. Made a nice catch on one of those things. So you have to feel encouraged. This is a guy that joins your team. You like guys like that mid-year, but if they can't join you then, you get them in camp, but they're still trying to learn this thing from scratch. So it's been a process with him, but it seems like now he's starting to produce.
It really does take time. They don't know anything about, your program or your offense or anything. And so his growth over the last 3 months has been huge, and he just keeps getting a little bit better each week and hadn't been through an off season with us. So I feel pretty good about him and where he is, his progression. And he needs to, finish the year out, have a really, really good off season for us, and we should be pretty good at tight end.
All right, Goldmine Live here as we continue at Norm's in the Student Union, hanging out here till 1 o'clock. Wide receiver Mark Quattlebaum will join us coming up around the bottom of the hour, but more with the head coach, Brad Lambert, next. We continue at Norm's at the Student Union here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And just announced, get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. Take advantage of these exclusive holiday offers only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Kevin, you want to talk first?
I'm eating a delicious protein bar.
Right.
I'm missing lunch today.
We're missing lunch. I mean, it's 12 to 1. You can eat prior. You can eat after. There's plenty of food right out there.
Like he hasn't done this before at lunch. Like he doesn't have a plan for lunch.
You don't understand how much food I need
Is
today.
he the one that guides these student athletes? Help them get ready for life after college?
Yeah. What is your title?
Here? Yeah, what is your title? I don't even know what your title is.
We know how much food you go through. Mm-hmm. The people out there might not, but we do.
Yes.
You go through a lot of food. You need a lot of calories throughout the day.
I do, man. I try and keep my weight up. I don't want to be super skinny like Jordan Gross or some other former.
Jordan Gross, that went way too far with Jordan. I remember riding with Kevin, went to James Madison that first year. I mean, the amount of food he had for a 4-hour drive was incredible. And then we stopped. He got subs. He's got his 48-ounce Coke Zero.
I love Coke Zero. I need to eat.
Did you get any in the press box mini fridge I requested?
No zero in the mini fridge yet, but we'll correct that for that last.
Maybe we need to get on Tom about that.
I know. Tom, come on.
There was ice cold water though, Tom, and that was perfect.
The water was there, yes.
Just so you don't feel bad, we don't have zero in the coach's locker room either. We just have Diet Coke down there as well.
See, I don't get it. We need Coke Zero all over the place.
Coke Zero is the product of choice.
It is the product. And now Kevin's asking for an endorsement.
Is there a new Coke Zero out, though? Like, is there something like Coke Zero Sugar? Like, what's the...
They got rid of Coke Zero. Now it's Coke Zero Sugar. Same exact thing to me. I don't know the difference, but people like it.
We just put sugar on it so people would buy it?
There's zero sugar. So it's healthy for you, right? That's what I take it from. I'm not going to read all the other stuff about it. it's all about Coke Zero Sugar. We're here at Norm's in the Student Union. I could take one right now, to be honest with you. Bobby Rosinski, Kevin Donnelly, and Brad Lambert. We got Mark Quattlebaum coming up here in just a few minutes. Coach, again, just looking at some individual guys on the defensive side of the ball, and I know we've talked with them when we've had you on the radio show, but Anthony Butler, you gave him the honor of wearing number 49. He was bouncing around again early in the game. Had 2 tackles for losses, a sack in this past game. I mean, just from where he's grown, it's been pretty incredible the past month.
It really has. Of course, he's been forced into a role losing Carrington, but he's really responded well. And as I told him, before last week's game, the thing I've appreciated about him is his preparation. He's really taking it serious. He's really preparing hard throughout the week, and that's a direct correlation to playing well. And so I've been really proud of him. He's a productive guy. We need for him to continue on that track. And, as you look at it, he and Jeff moving forward, they're both back next year. So that bodes well for us. We need to find that third and fourth guy in that inside backer because I don't like all those guys having to play every snap. You'd like for them to, be on a little bit of a rotation where you can get them out a little bit because it's pretty stressful, and that can lead to some missed tackles, which I think it did Saturday. The load is so heavy on those two. They did miss some tackles in there, but Anthony's done great. He's really, really fun to be around every day. He works extremely hard at it, and I'm just really proud of him.
And for Jeff, third straight game, double-digit tackles, 4th overall this season. He's over 100 tackles on the year. And I think it was either Jeff or Anthony, I can't remember which one, at the Tuesday press conference talking about you lose Carrington, someone's got to be that vocal leader. Yeah. How have you seen those two guys kind of step up and take over for what was obviously an important part of the defense?
I think those two have done a really nice job of leading us with their preparation. Jeff's a little more vocal than he was, but the main thing for Jeff and Anthony is they've just been working extremely hard. They show up every day and work hard. Their first one's in, last one's out, all those kinds of things. And I think that's as much leadership as anything, and guys see that, and they're like, I got to step my game up as well. So they've done a good job of that.
Well, I can kind of, being within the program and seeing it, something I've kind of noticed is with losing 27 seniors last year, and a lot of them were really vocal guys, Brandon Banks and Austin Duke, those guys, like that's been – there's a lot of talent on this team, but there was a void, I think, of like who's those next guys that had to step up because they were all kind of taking a backseat to those seniors. So it's nice to see some of those guys on defense stepping up. Have you seen anyone on offense that's kind of been that go-to guy in terms of getting energy out there?
Well, I think that offensive line, that group as a whole, Chris Brown, he's a real vocal guy. And Hassan has really stepped up. He's been a guy that's, done a nice job for us. The guy you're getting ready to talk to, Mark Quattlebaum's really one of the things I admire about him is how he's accepted his new role, and he's more vocal with our football team and, kind of replacing Austin in there. And he's done a nice job stepping up from a vocal standpoint, a playing standpoint, working hard. So few of those guys have, but they just hadn't had to do it in the past because of what you say. Those other guys had always been the guys, and so it's been fun to see who's going to emerge and do that as well.
Do you have to be quarterback and position like that, a vocal leader? I mean, can you teach that? Does it matter?
No, not necessarily. I tell the guys all the time, be who you are. Don't try to be somebody you're not because then people won't respect who you are. I tell guys all the time, be who you are. If you're loud, be loud. If you're not, like Chris Brown, he's going to be loud. That's just who he is, and that's okay. Like, I don't want you to not be that. I mean, that's okay. But I think the number one thing about leadership is you're going to influence people around you. You've got a circle of 5 to 10 people that you hang with, and you're going to influence them. Are you influencing them in a good way, or are you influencing in a bad way? That's basically what leadership is. How do you influence those around you? And some people have more influence than others, and you've never heard me say one time in 5 or 6 years that we have bad leaders or we don't have any leadership, I should say, because we have leadership. The question is it good leadership or is it bad leadership? How are the guys influencing each other? And I just feel really good about the guys on our team. I think that the character of our football team speaks to how hard they keep playing each week. No matter what happens, our guys are showing up, and that was one of the altercations during Saturday's game. Warpay got into a little scuffle out there and got a flag. And like as I talked to him after the fact, he's like, well, Middle was kept saying to us, why your record's bad, why y'all playing hard? You got nothing to play for. And he's like, and we're going to play hard every snap. So that's a tribute to who these guys are.
And I know on the defensive line, and you've taken over that role of coaching the defensive line this season, Zach Duncan's one. I remember talking with Coach Wally early in the season, said he was a guy who was pretty quiet but has stepped up, realizing his role with guys like Larry and Brandon, both onto the National Football League. I know Zach got a little banged up this past Saturday, but have you seen the year of Zach Duncan? And it feels like pressure on the quarterback has definitely increased the past 2 or 3 games.
No question. I think the guys up front have really, taken upon themselves to get off block. We've really challenged them over the last month. We're doing a good job controlling the line of scrimmage, but how do we get off those blocks and start being productive from a tackle standpoint? I think over the last month we have. I really like where Timmy Horn is. Timmy Horn, he's a redshirt freshman that really, this is his first playing time, extended practice time. He's a real fun, vocal guy for us as well. He's stepped up as a young player and motivates guys around him. So Zach, Tyler Fain is really starting to step in that role as he's played more. He's never been called on to play here, and all of a sudden he's playing better. He's being more vocal. Zach Duncan's doing a good job for us. We need to get Zach back this week. Hopefully, he's day-to-day. We'll see how his concussion is as we progress through the week, if we can get him to play this Saturday.
Well, speaking of Tyler Fain, he's a guy that, had a couple of injuries and things just kind of slowed him down. But this year, it's just really matured into a quality defensive lineman that's helped you, in a situation where that D-line's so young. He has stepped up and done a good job. And I just like, one particular play, he at least they threw a little pass to the flat on a big third down play, and he at least went out there and got the guy to almost stumble and trip, and that's just extra effort by a kid like that.
It is. It's reading the screen. The screens are always stopped by your defensive line, and it's usually if they're not reading it, that's when screens are successful. Our guys up front have really done a nice job in that particular play. He missed the tackle, but as I told him this morning in the meeting, if you can get the thing off track, we're going to win. That's the problem. Like, if those screens don't get off track, that's when they become huge plays. And so he did a great job of reading the screen and really getting out there and making the play. And, the thing about Tyler is he's in today's world of I want it now and it needs to happen for me now. Tyler's a great testament of what football used to be about, where you come in, you red shirt, you develop as a man, you develop as a student, you develop as a player, you hit year 3 or 4 and you're on track. And that's really, Tyler was hurt his whole first part of his career. First couple of years he was hurt every year, and now he's matured into just a good young man, and all of a sudden he's playing and he's impacting. He's played full-time this year. He's got one more year after this. So he's a testament to hard work and just grinding and keep your nose to the grindstone. And something good's going to happen for you in your career before you leave here. And those are the things you don't see much of anymore. Everybody wants to play now, and it's about me getting it now. And so Mark Quattlebaum's another one of those guys, just worked extremely hard since he's been here. Now he's getting his opportunity. He's being productive. He's worked hard in the off season, done all the right things. So it's fun to watch those guys.
And probably Timmy Horn starting on that same path too is probably a player last year you could have used and taken the red shirt off of him, because he is a specimen. I mean, that's a player 49er fans need to keep account of. He's going to be a special one going forward, but he went through his first year of kind of being the practice guy and doing that red shirt year, and now it's paying dividends.
Yeah, no question. Those guys got to have great off seasons and great work, and that's a lot of work goes into 12 opportunities to play our game. You above all people, Kevin, know how much work goes from January to August that nobody ever sees, but that's the work you got to do to give yourself a chance to have success in the fall.
And speaking of 49 defensive linemen, Brandon Banks was activated by the Washington Redskins yesterday, so he made it up from the practice squad to the 53-man roster.
Good for him.
He did.
What a great day for the Redskins defense, but we're not going to blame Brandon for that.
But he had that locker on game day ready to roll. It was good to see him.
What was that first moment for you, Kevin?
Oh, man.
Locker, realizing you're in the National Football League.
Oh, man. Well, it was...
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, I can't remember my
60s.
first game.
It was 60s.
Oh, no. I remember.
You got that leather helmet?
I remember now. We actually opened the season, I believe, in 1991, and we were on the road against the Bengals. And I was like, oh, my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? There's some full-grown men out there, man. I'm 22 years old, and these guys are 28 just looking to kill somebody. But It is a great moment. It's fun, but it's
Good for him. I didn't know that. Good for him.
I'm here to break
That's
news
awesome.
for you, Coach.
You are.
Which I think Kevin broke it to Tom, who then broke it to me. So
There
it's
you
this
go.
food chain here
There
we
you
have
go.
going on of the news.
You know the one I need to get an update on. I need an update on is Dozier, like how he's doing. I know he's doing well early in the year. I hadn't seen anything lately on him. I get caught up in my weekly grind and.
Tom Whitestone, he's all over it. He'll give you an update here in the next
me an
5 minutes. Before you're back on, he will have that update for you. I give you the personal guarantee that happens. All right, we'll take a timeout. Mark Quattlebaum, the redshirt junior wide receiver, he'll join us on the other side. As we continue here, it's Goldmine Live from Norms in the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. Hey, it looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And just announced, get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. Take advantage of these exclusive holiday offers only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
The Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers. This week's Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week is Julia Granda. Granda is a sophomore forward on the women's soccer team from Cornelius, North Carolina. She played an important role on this year's squad and the run to the Conference USA Tournament Finals, scoring 5 goals and adding 4 assists in the 2017 campaign. She has 11 goals in her career at Charlotte and is an important contributor to the 49er offense. Away from the field, she is majoring in kinesiology and boasts an impressive 3.9 GPA. Julia Granda, the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week.
This has been the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers.
Back here, Goldmine Live at Norms in the Student Union. Bobby Rosinski filling in for Matt Swearad. Matt with the basketball team tonight as they take on Oklahoma State on the road. Coverage starts at 7:30 here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network alongside Kevin Donnelly. And a pleasure to be joined by redshirt junior wide receiver, Mr. Mark Quattlebaum. Mark, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well. And for you, it's been a kind of breakout season, leading this team in catches and yards. What have you seen clicking for yourself this year working with Hassan Khalid?
Just trusting the process and doing everything that we've been coached to do, kind of just saying or just reading the defense and just finding those open windows every once in a while.
Now, you had, it was back-to-back, well, I guess we could say 3 big plays there on that drive of the third quarter, starting with the catch over the middle. What's it like as a wide receiver going over the middle, knowing you got some linebacker safeties, probably waiting to lay a big hit on you if they can?
You just know that it's going to happen, so in the moment you just want to be able to make the play so that everyone else on the team knows, all right, well, if he's going to make the play like that, then what's it for us not to make the play like that? So, it just kind of triggers everybody to play for each other and to play as hard as they can and not shy away from the contact, because that's what football is all about, is a contact sport. So, you just got to make the plays whenever it's time to make the plays.
First touchdown for you. What was that moment like? I know you want to get the win. That's more important, but still, getting into the end zone for the first time.
Yes, sir. I kind of knew once we drew the play up that it was going to come to me just based off of what we've been doing all week and based off of what the safety was going to do, and just getting into the end zone. It was a foreign moment since high school, but it's always good to be able to touch the green grass every once in a while.
Well, what I've enjoyed is I don't know what the competition's like with the other guys on the team at receiver or even those tight ends or running backs, but I'm going to say it. You're hands down the best hands guy on the team. You're able to catch a lot of different variety of balls, whether you're laying out for it or those tough ones over the middle. Like the last couple of weeks, you've just done a good job of when you had to make those yards over the middle, hang on to that thing. Mm-hmm. What's it feel like that, you get that ball, you're tucking it away, but the big hit's coming?
Since I've been playing football, I've always known how to brace myself and just to take a edge off of the hits, kind of just spinning whenever you know that you're about to go down, or maybe even going down a little bit before they hit you or make contact. But, everybody's going to take a big hit, but I've already had my welcome to college hit, so I already know what the biggest hit feels like. Knock on wood, not going to say I haven't.
What was that welcome to college football moment?
That was actually Dozier hit me in scout team, so kind of felt that pain a little bit, but, not too bad.
I think he was home Brandon Dozier was home this last weekend, came to the game, and he was there, so it's good to have one of our guys back. He's playing in the CFL.
Yes, sir. He's doing pretty good.
Probably with your hands, it was probably had a lot to do with playing a lot of basketball and baseball in high school. I know you're a multi-sport guy.
Yes, sir.
Was football your first love, or did you have some desires maybe of playing baseball or basketball?
Football actually was my first sport at the age of 8, and then I got into basketball at the age of 9. Then I got into baseball at the age of 10, so it just kind of all rolled off of each other. My coaches always told me that every sport always contributed to the other one, so I just kind of stayed with all 3 sports growing up. Hand-eye coordination with baseball, and, quickness with basketball, and football was just contact, so it all just kind of rolled off of each other.
I've always heard that's important. It's not specialized. Kevin, in those one sports, a lot of kids seem like they do these days, or parents probably forcing them to go that route, but to actually be able to and play all those sports, I think great for you and helping you in development. In this game, a couple touchdowns, or the one touchdown Trent Bostic had. You laid a block on there. Yes, we had the big catch you made on the screen, or it was Trent, and I think R.J. Tyler putting the blocks. What's that moment like as the screen's going out, and you gotta lay that block if you're going to spring your teammate?
Well, catching the ball on the screens, you just know you just got to trust the blockers who you got, just hopefully that they got the blocks that they're going to make. And, throughout the week, we've always known that the outside guy was going to help on the inside guy. So it was kind of more confidence built up there. And then making the blocks, that he's dependent on you to make the block, or he's going to get a blindside hit. So, you just got to be able to take that edge.
Are they going to give it to you? Is your teammate going to be like, hey, Mark, where were you?
Yeah, you never want that to be you. So, the blocking is always the most important in my eyes, because catching it's the easy thing. So, the blocks are always key, and those are always the things that spring the big plays.
Now, Cartersville, Georgia, the hotbed here for Charlotte 49ers, with you, Brooks, and TL all making your way up from Cartersville here to Charlotte. So what was it like in high school with those guys, and deciding to come here and play for the 49ers?
We actually had a pretty good high school career. I didn't get to play much with them my sophomore year because they played JV. I played varsity on defense.
Oh, that's right.
Not trying to bash them, but, we always had a connection. Everybody at Cartersville kind of always played together, so we grew up playing, recreational sports together, and we always been friends. So, it's always been, if we go to college, we all want to go together or stuff like that. And then Charlotte was a great opportunity for us to, get away from home but not be too far, and then also be together and always have somebody to lean on whenever times get rough and stuff like that. So it's been a good decision so far.
Well, it's just us 3 right here. So you got any good stories on TL or Brooks Barden? A little funny story about you guys together, or a game, or some big time play that you were able to do? You got to have something. Let me tell you what's been fun is seeing you guys, I think, kind of come in here as a group, and you've all kind of contributed in your own different ways, but it's good to see you and what you've been able to do up into this junior year. If you can't come up with a story with them, tell me this, what do you do for fun? Who's some of the guys you hang with, and what's some things that you do to spend your free time?
I kind of like to hang out with everybody. Everybody's always got some type of connection that they can share. A lot of guys get together and play basketball in the off season, or we'll get together and play, Madden or 2K or Call of Duty even. We just like to get together, hang around each other, and have that bond just stay strong throughout everything. And then also the new players coming in, you kind of want to influence them to, hang around the older guys so that way they get comfortable with everyone on the team and stuff. So just trying to keep a good camaraderie, being a young program and not a lot of people being from the same area, but.
Well, I play a little bit of lunchtime hoops with some of the coaches, and I'll tell you this, your position coach, Damian Gary, is the baller among the group.
Yeah, I may be a little bit better than him, though.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Among the players, and you guys go out and play a little pickup game in the off season, Who are 2 or 3 of those ballers that they got some real skills?
Anthony Covington from defense. He's a pretty good player. Chris Montgomery, he's in the receiver room. He's a pretty good player. Warpe Kofa, he's actually pretty good. He played at Independence.
Any big guys?
Chris Brown likes to think that he's pretty good, but I mean, I'll give him. He's a pretty good big guy.
He'll at least tell you he's pretty good.
Yeah, he'll tell you that he's good.
Now, Madden 18, what's the go-to team for you?
I'll say either the Cowboys or the Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
That
defense is
actually ranked 89 on there.
Goodness.
Are they?
Yeah.
You just have to run the ball, I guess, every time if you're playing with Jacksonville. As long as you don't get in a fight with your teammates. Yeah. That's all. I think it was Marcus Page or someone, Joel Berry there in North Carolina did that. Broke his hand, not happy with the way things went in Madden. For this season, look, we know it hasn't gone the way that you all would like, but have you seen just the locker room stick together and looking forward to each and every game and try to get that next W?
We just try to tell everyone that, the record can't determine what's going on because, the record doesn't show how hard we've been working and how close the games actually are from, executing one play here and one play there. It's just been kind of spread out with the big plays coming. But going into it, we kind of knew that we were going to have a tough year because we lost a lot of seniors. So, the leadership aspect of it was kind of lingering around, who was going to be the leaders, who was going to be, the shoulder to lean on. But I feel like we stepped up a lot more than we actually thought we were going to. People coming in, playing big roles, with some of the linemen leaving, like Larry Ogunjobi on the defensive side. And, you got Carrington King going down, so someone's got to step in for him. And I feel like people have just been, trying to fill those gaps and fill those spots as best they can. And, I can't say too much about it because I feel like everyone's been doing a good job trying to just keep a positive attitude with all the stuff going around and just stay positive.
Good memories last year going to Hattiesburg, picking up a win, so they'll probably be angry and looking for a little bit of payback. What do you see right now, just the early preview of Southern Miss?
I think they'll probably come out, try to, play us how they did last year, keep it close, and we just got to come out and, give them everything we got, no matter what game it is in the season. We got to play every game like it's our last because, you're blessed just to play one game at a time and one play at a time, but everyone gets caught up in the records and stuff, but I feel like every day's a blessing, so just got to go out and give it everything you got.
All right, well, we know you got class to get to. You got about 20 minutes to get there.
Yes,
so is it far away? Do you got to run?
Actually like a 5-minute walk.
5 minutes, all right. Then plenty of time. If you were late, we would just blame Kevin for that. Mark Quattlebaum, the redshirt junior wide receiver for the Charlotte 49ers. Mark, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Mark Quattlebaum, the redshirt junior wide receiver. Brad Lambert, he'll join us on the other side of the break. This is Goldmine Live from Norms in the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And just announced, get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. Take advantage of these exclusive holiday offers only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Goldmine Live continuing here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network. Bobby Rosinski, Kevin Donnelly, and the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers, Brad Lambert, with you here for about another 20 minutes talking Charlotte 49er football. And I had no doubt Tom Whitestone would come through with the Brandon Dozier stats, and he's got it for you there in the CFL.
Yeah, they finished their season, I guess, a week or so ago on November 3rd, and he got to play in all 18 games. Looks like he had 66 tackles, 2 sacks, scored a touchdown. He came by practice on their open date, and so I got to talk to him, said he was doing well, and just really proud of him. We always talk about the NFL guys, but we had another guy who played for us at the University of Georgia, Terrence Edwards, who played for multiple years in the CFL, and it's a good league up there, and it's a good opportunity for our guys to go up there and play. Really proud of Brandon, what he did for us here, and how he's represented our university, and I was happy for him to see his stats.
Yeah, that's one of the best celebrations the other day. If you saw it in the CFL, they had a guy be the limbo. So they held him, and then the other teammates went under it. So the NFL, they've allow you to celebrate finally in the end zone. So you're getting some good celebrations. And the CFL taking it to another level with the limbo, actually using human bodies a part of that. Coach, quickly, first with Mark Quattlebaum, who we just had on. It was great talking with him, a redshirt junior. We mentioned a little bit how he's really burst on the scene for you this year, leading the team in catches and yards at the big plays this past week against Middle Tennessee. But what do you make of his growth from where he was when he got here to now being the top wide receiver?
He's just matured so much. It's fun to, we get to see him, kind of move into manhood. And he's really matured a lot as a man and just handles his business. He doesn't cross my desk. He just handles his stuff. And it's been a lot of fun now to see him have success. And like we talked about Tyler and him, guys that, they put the work in for a couple years and now they get to see the fruits of that labor, so to speak. And so for him to have success has been good. And he's really been a guy, you talk about guys being who they are, and he's a vocal guy, and he's not afraid to, tell people when we need to step up and work harder and do this. And he's really done a nice job of that, been extremely positive with our football team. And so just really proud of him.
And another player that you wrote down you want to talk about, and he definitely made some good plays this past week for you, your redshirt sophomore linebacker Alex Highsmith from Wilmington, another name that I know just being on the sidelines or helping call the games that his name has been popping up a lot more lately.
Yeah, no question. Alex is a great story, a lot like Carrington King we talked about. Alex walked on here. He's from Wilmington and walked on and ended up starting the game last year at UTSA. He got his first start and had a sack, I think, in that game. And just has really, progressed as a player and worked extremely hard. And so we put him on scholarship this year. He's having a fabulous year for us, really productive, off the edge, tackles for losses, sack. He's just been a productive, disruptive guy for us. And he and Tyreek have done a really nice job and at the bandit position. So we're really fortunate there to have two productive guys that, can handle it and, are playing well for us. Alex is just, like I say, he's doing a great job and just really enjoy watching him each week progress, and he's just getting better as a player.
And I think, when you look at Alex, it's really the blueprint of what it should be like for most of these high school kids going to college, whether they're on scholarship or not. Alex being a walk-on, but he came in and just put his head, just worked on the grindstone, just kind of pounding every single day, learning the defense, doing what was right in the weight room, going to class, doing everything there, being a good influence on teammates. And it's just no secret that in just a short amount of time you put him on scholarship.
Yeah, no question. I tell guys all the time, come in and just work as hard as you can work, and you'll be surprised the good things that can happen for you. And he's one of those guys. Carrington King's one of those guys. I mean, I just really have enjoyed watching him progress, especially as a player. He really takes care of his body well. I mean, he's conscious about what he eats and taking care of himself from a physical standpoint, and it's paying off for him on the field. He could be starting for us now, and he's playing like a starter, and he's being productive. So that 1-2 punch has really been good for us at that position.
All right, the 49ers taking on Southern Miss. We'll get to that on the other side of the break. Here's just got about 15 minutes to go, as this is Goldmine Live from Norms and the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And just announced, get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. Take advantage of these exclusive holiday offers only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Goldmine Live, Norms in the Student Union, continuing here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network. Bobby Rosinski, Kevin Donnelly, and the head coach of the 49ers, Brad Lambert. This Saturday, the 49ers on the road as they take on Southern Miss. Third ever meeting between the two schools. Southern Miss won here in 2015. 49ers, though, got the payback last year on the road in Hattiesburg, 38-27. And coach this year's version of Southern Miss, 6-4, coming off a win against Rice. The offense, I think, scored on every possession except the last one, and that one they were taking a knee. So on offense that comes in feeling pretty good about themselves. What do you make?
I appreciate that. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Well, Kevin had the insight during the break. Southern Miss is pretty good. Yeah. So I'm just expanding on that here. Southern Miss football team offensively feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I think Ito Smith's as good a back as we'll play that we'll play against this year. I think I saw a stat where he's one of 10 FBS players in the history to have 3,000 yards rushing, 1,000 receiving. I don't know exact numbers, but all I know is he's a heck of a player. I thought he was hard to deal with last year. And they got a lot of guys around him back. Their quarterback is new. That's their one spot that they have a new guy from last year. Looks like Griggs is going to start against us. But the guys around him, Staggers is a good player. The wideouts, Isaiah Jones, Robertson, they're all really good football players around him. So he's just really got to distribute the ball to the right spots, get those guys in the open field. And then they have an offensive line that's just really big. I mean, there's a big offensive line. It seems like every week it's, these guys are just so big now. We're going to have to play well up front. We're going to have to try to find a way to keep Ito in check because it's like last week, somebody gets to rushing for 200 yards, then your day gets really hard. So if you can take that run game away, which is what we need to do, and then try to force them to throw the ball, I think that's going to be critical for us.
But when they do go to the throw, even though it's a younger quarterback, a new guy taking over, they still got Corey Robertson out back there that is, I think he's second in yards in the conference this year and third in receptions. So he's at the top of Conference USA and doing some good things.
Yeah, no question. The guys around him are really good, whether it's running back or wide receiver. And like I said, I think that's the key is he doesn't have a lot of pressure on him. Just get the ball in the right spots, let those guys go to work. And like I say, the offensive line's taking pretty good care of him. They played a tough schedule, but offensively, they're going to be a handful for us.
Yeah, I think for the guys, it's really – they have a 6-4 record right now, 4-2 in conference, but it has been a tough schedule. And you can't look at their record and think they're not any bit as good as FAU or Marshall or some of these other better teams in our conference.
Yeah, when you play two SEC schools in your non-conference, that's a tough draw. You got to go to Tennessee, play Kentucky at home. Kentucky's got a winning record. Anytime you go play Tennessee, it's going to be a tough chore. Their schedule's been rough, and they're winning games. So Coach Hobson's got them playing at a high level, and we're going to have to, once again, defensively, they're one of these high-risk defenses. They're going to kind of come at you from all spots, and so we're going to have to play well on both sides of the ball. And then special teams, that was a big play in the game last year when we blocked a punt down there. So we're going to try to make an impact play in the special teams.
And that exact stat, Ito Smith became just the 10th player in FBS history to rush for over 4,000 yards and record over 1,000 yards receiving in a career. So
there you go.
I think you nailed it. I was able to read it word for word and make it a little bit easier.
I said 3,000 is 4,000.
I'm just trying to make you feel better as we continue here. And for a running back like that, now how do you look at, like a Benny LeMayer and McAllister? I'm sure that's what everybody wants, the dual threat guys and not just rushing but receiving as well.
Yeah, he's dynamic on both sides. He's not a real big guy. He's a 190-pounder, and he's just so athletic. He's just a skilled guy. They can get the ball to him in the open field, and so it's. I don't like competing against him, but he's fun to watch on video because he's a really good player. It doesn't matter who he's playing against, but he's a guy you got to corral, no question.
All right, we'll look at the 49er offense against Southern Miss defense on the other side of the break. This is Goldmine Live from Norms in the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And just announced, get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. Take advantage of these exclusive holiday offers only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift? We've got you. Guitar? Coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar? Reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party? Relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Goldmine Live here at Norms of the Student Union. Our final segment here on it this Monday. Bobby Rosinski, Kevin Donnelly, and head coach of the 49ers, Brad Lambert. Again, Charlotte basketball tonight as they take on Oklahoma State. Coverage will start at 7:30. Matt Swearhead with the call out there as Coach Price and his 49ers look to go to 2-0 on the young season of 2017 and 2018. We talked about Southern Miss offense. Defensively, Coach, what do you see from Southern Miss as Hassan Clue and company get ready to take them on?
Yeah, it's just, they just keep spawning defensive linemen down there in southern Mississippi. Just two big guys inside, very active front. And then they try to get after you a lot like Middle Tennessee in different ways. Probably not as high a percentage of pressure as Middle was, but, still a very active defense. So it's going to be a tough chore for us to, try to establish the run. We did well last year against them, so I'm sure they're going to be pretty clued into that. They weren't real happy about us coming down there last year and beating them and rushing for as many yards as we did. So, they'll be well coached. Hop's a defensive guy. Coach Billings is on that staff. He and I worked together for years at Marshall. They got a really good coaching staff down there. So we got our work cut out for us, but hopefully we can get the chains moving. Get a little rhythm going, and that's really the thing for us offensively is to try to get Benny LeMay and Aaron Amack going and get that ball moving.
Yeah, and they're going to be tough against the run. I think they're third in Conference USA against the run, but also they're third in sacks with 23 on the year. And their leading sacker, I'm looking at this guy, it's Xavier Thigpen, got 5 sacks on the year. 6'7" defensive end. What kind of problem does that pose? Because if he doesn't get there, he's got the arms up. He's got to be throwing those things in the air to shut down passing lanes.
Yeah, no question. And batted balls at the line of scrimmage are huge plays. You're always training your defensive front guys to have their hands up. If you don't get home and make the sack or get a hit, you always want your hands up to try to knock balls down, and that becomes a problem. And when you have tall, long guys, that's an issue for you.
All right, the Charlotte 49ers at Southern Miss. This coming at Saturday, 3 o'clock will be the kickoff of 2 o'clock airtime on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network and my award-winning pregame show the hour prior to that on 7:30 the game. So if you're looking for great nuggets, that's where you'll get it that 1 hour prior. Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck this Saturday against Southern Miss.
Thanks, Bob. We appreciate you fitting in.
Kevin, Mr. Brightside, thank you very much as always.
Talk to you in the morning.
Yes, it'll be a late night for Kevin Donnelly tonight with the Panthers playing some Monday Night Football. Again, don't forget men's basketball tonight. Catch it at 7:30 here on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network as they take on Oklahoma State. For Coach Lambert, Kevin Donnelly, I'm Bobby Rosinski. This has been Goldmine Live from Norms in the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.